Hello and welcome to the Mrs. Money Hacker YouTube channel. I'm Megan, otherwise known as Mrs. Money Hacker from the blog mrsmoneyhacker.com. In this video, I'll go into a little bit about me, why I started this channel, why I'm qualified to talk about financial wellness and investments. So this channel will be dedicated to helping others see money differently and to build a life that they love. On this channel, I hope to demonstrate sustainable ways to build towards financial security and how money can be used as a tool to help you build a life you love, not by buying material things, but by working towards buying the most valuable asset of all, your time. So if this sounds of interest to you, please subscribe and stay tuned for more videos on topics like the psychology of money, the recipe for human happiness, how to build a budget that's sustainable without reducing your happiness, and how to invest here in Ireland. Now, on to a bit about me. I'm a married mother of one in my mid 30s, originally from Canada. I traveled after college and met my now husband 1 month to the day after arriving here in Ireland back in 2005. We traveled around for a while and moved back to Canada until my husband could obtain citizenship there. And then back in 2014, we returned back to Ireland, where since then I've been trying to navigate the various investment vehicles and the tax implications here in Ireland. So, after thousands of hours of research, I wanted to share my newly acquired knowledge with others so that others could more quickly navigate this area than I had. And so, back in early 2019, the blog Mrs. Money Hacker was born. And in early 2020, I started providing consultations and analysis to readers who wanted to find their own quickest paths to financial independence by looking at their own finances and scenarios, as well as how to invest lump sums and things like that. And while this was a much more lucrative venture than any passive income I was getting off the blog, it reduced the amount of time I had to share my knowledge more widely. And so that's why this channel has been born. I want to start by the usual disclaimer that I'm not a qualified tax advisor. I'm not a qualified financial advisor. The views on this channel will be my own and should not be taken as investment advice, and all investments carry the risk of loss. So you should do your own research and due diligence before making any investments with your own money. So next, on to why am I qualified to talk about financial wellness? From the outside looking in, we probably don't have the appearance of a successful family by standard definition, but depends on your definition of success, I suppose. And so, for example, we don't have nice new cars, we don't live in a well-to-do neighborhood, we don't have a massive house, we don't wear designer clothes. We do drive an old but reliable 2005 Toyota. We live in a slightly undesirable area but safe, where we're within a 20-minute walk to the city centre, and I'm a 20-minute commute when we are commuting to work, and it only requires us to have one car. We have a comfortable sized, relatively energy efficient house, which is decorated to our taste. And by living a fairly traditional life, working average jobs with standard career progression, we've lived and worked in 3 continents. We traveled to at least 40 cities in 21 countries in 4 continents. We managed to pay 20% down payment on both of our properties, one in Canada and one in Ireland. We paid cash for our albeit old cars whenever we bought cars. We paid cash for our wedding and our honeymoon. We pay for all of our annual expenses in full. So big lump sum expenses like health insurance and car insurance and things like that, we always pay in full, which saves us a little bit of money in terms of credit charges and things like that. And in building this financial security for ourselves and living beneath our means, we were able to take more gambles with our life and our career. So back in 2014, I mentioned we came back to Ireland. We left good paying jobs. We left a decent lifestyle, a nice apartment downtown. People kind of thought we were crazy. I had to go 8 months between paychecks while I waited for my visa to come through. But it has more than paid off, and we're far happier here than we were. So basically, those are just kind of things that having financial security can allow you. Back when our son was born, I was able to take 18 months maternity leave unpaid without going into debt. My husband also took his full block of 6 months statutory parental leave unpaid, without any impact to our finances. During my maternity leave, we spent a week in Tenerife, 7 weeks in Canada, and 2 months in Portugal. This is pre-COVID lockdown. And we have since decided to go down to one part-time income so that my husband can stay home with our son, and I still have time to work on passion projects like this channel and my blog. And we still manage to save a good portion of our income and continue working towards our financial independence. So even with all of this time between jobs and going down to one income, we're still on track to clear our mortgage in the next 2 to 3 years, and on track to be in a position to no longer work for money in 12 years' time or less, depending when my husband goes back to work. And what that means is that the interest from our investments will be enough to cover our annual expenses. And I'll go into how to do that and what that means, and how to calculate your own time to financial independence in this channel. So even just to give a bit of background on what our expenses are. So in the last 2 years, our expenses have averaged $41,000, and that includes all the travel we did, our new baby costs, house maintenance, a family wedding, and a 50th birthday, which if you're in Ireland, you know can be quite expensive. Investment property costs. So our property in Canada was cash flow negative. It was costing us money every year to maintain, work and blog related expenses, and so on. So that's everything all included in that 41,000. Now, since recently we managed to sell our Canadian property, and we'll be using that to pay down a large portion of our mortgage here, and we'll no longer have the investment related costs for that property. So this should help to bring our expenses down to about 30,000 a year in the next 12 months. That's for a family of 3 and a cat here in Ireland, and obviously, as you can see, living quite comfortably on that income. So it's just goes to show that you can live quite comfortably on quite little. So next I'm going to talk about why I'm qualified to talk about investments. So in addition to living beneath our means for quite a period of time and building up our own financial security, through extensive research, we managed to figure out how to do all of the following, mostly without any outside help. And in going through this list, have a think. If you've ever done any of these things yourselves, you'll know how much time and effort goes into getting it right, doing the research, even knowing how to start or where to start, and then actually taking the action to do it. So have a think about that. And these are the skills that, in doing all of these things, that I'll be using to figure out how to build wealth here in Ireland and how to invest. So things that we've done: we navigated settling into 2 new countries and obtained work there. We applied for and obtained Canadian citizenship for my husband in Canada. We applied for and obtained a permanent residency here in Ireland. We bought a house both in Canada and in Ireland. We sold a house in Canada while we weren't living there. We filed taxes both in Canada and in Ireland on our own, which includes more complex returns like non-residence rental income, the sale of a property from another country, a sole trader company here in Ireland, and separate investment income that we need to report as well. So that's the whole things that we've managed to figure out how to do ourselves. I opened and subsequently closed a limited company here in Ireland. I've set up a blog. I transferred my retirement account from a managed account to a self-directed account in Canada. So I'm managing my own investments in Canada. And I opened a self-directed investment account here in Ireland, and have started investing on my own here as well. So I'm learning, I'm talking from experience, I suppose, in any of the videos that I'm going through. Onto my day job then. So while I'm not a qualified financial advisor, my day job is as a business analyst. So for those of you who don't know what that is, at a high level, I use detailed analysis to research and document business cases to highlight which projects are most profitable for a company to pursue. I review and identify processes that can be changed to introduce greater efficiencies, and I support software development projects through the entire life cycle to translate what the business wants into detailed specifications that developers and testers can follow to develop software. So it's these same skills that I use in my day job that I use in my personal life when researching anything new that I do, and that applies as well to building wealth in Ireland and investing in Ireland, which I hope to pass on to you as well. So if you're interested in any of these topics, please do follow along, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more videos on financial independence, the psychology of money, how to invest here in Ireland, and so on. Talk to you soon.